So I do my very best to watch my diet. Example, today all I've had to eat orally is 4 cod bites. That's all I've had to eat orally today. So I do my best to watch my diet. But that's not way too much insulin. Today's dosage was a little overboard. I did find out by my sugar low. But I usually don't take much less than that. I usually take anywhere between 120 to 180 units of insulin every 5 hours. That is what my medical team, as my diabetic nurse, has assigned to me in correlation with my endocrinologist. Because my body's extremely insulin resistant, I have to take more insulin than the average person does in order for it to work. So normally I take between 120 and 180. The reason I took so much today was because my sugars were reading high. I couldn't find my glucometer or glucose meter, whatever it's called, to double check what my sugars were. They just said high. And when they used to read that way, I was in the 30s. For that reason, I decided I'm just going to assume I'm in the 30s and take X amount of insulin. That was a bad idea. Now that I have my glucometer, and it's somewhere where I'm not going to misplace it, I'm able to check my sugars when my Dexcom isn't reading properly. So then I can try and figure out how much insulin to take. As for exercise, I do what I can. It's not much at this time. I do have mobility issues due to osteoarthritis, according to my doctors. So exercise is very difficult for me at this time. However, I do what I can. I have physiotherapy exercises that I have to do every day. I no longer have a physiotherapist, as they are only short-term, unless you have private insurance to pay for it, or you pay out of pocket. So they are only short-term. So I have done everything I can with the physiotherapist, and I just continue to work on my physiotherapy exercises every day. I'm hoping once I get working that my mobility will improve when I'm getting out of the house more. I do try to walk around the house multiple times a day. I do my stairs. It's part of my physiotherapy is to do my stairs up and down 3 times a day. And I do what I can. I'm hoping my mobility will continue to improve as I lose weight, which I am working on as well. But as for watching my diet, I do watch it very closely. I have been trying very hard to monitor my diet when I'm able to eat orally and watch what I eat. Yes, there's the odd time when I may eat something I shouldn't. Example, on the weekend, last weekend, 26th, Boxing Day. Friends and I went to the mall. I ended up taking a sugar low. My sugars again dropped down into the higher 2s. So my friend bought me a chicken wrap. I had about 4 or 5 bites, whatever, about half of it at the most. Gave the rest to him because I started not feeling good. I was in severe pain and severely nauseated, and by the time we got home, I ended up throwing up. So I do my best to watch what I eat. Yes, that day was a bad choice. I'm sure there would have been better options, but we were just trying to think very quick, and that was the best thing that we could think of. But as for today, with my sugars being high, I'm not sure what caused it. Even yesterday, again, the only thing I had to eat was I had a couple Tostito chips with some, taco dip or something like that. I only had like 2 chips because the taco dip actually had stuff on it I couldn't actually eat regardless of my stomach issues, green peppers and onions. So I managed to find a little corner where there wasn't any and had a couple chips. And then I had probably 6 cod bites. And that's all I had to eat yesterday orally. So I'm not sure why my sugars are so high today, but they were. They are down to normal now. I did take a sugar low. I was able to consume a protein shake. It brought them back up. I'm sitting at 4.6 and I'm stable. So I do what I can to be able to eat properly as well as exercise. I'm not always perfect. I don't know anybody who is perfect. I do my best. Unfortunately, my sugars tend to run high regardless though, because my formula that I am on is high in carbs. That's not an option that I can change. I'm trying to find a lower carb formula that is on the approved list of covered formulas, but most of them are very high in carbs. I made a video talking about this the other day, where there's only 2 choices for diabetic formula on the approved list. One is resource diabetic, which myself, many other tubies, have experienced issues with, where it turns to like a goo or slime in the bag and then in the giving line, which can cause clogging into our tubes, that the feeding tube, as well as cause issues with the pump. The pump starts to malfunction because it can't properly pump out the formula because it's gotten too thick. The other one is called Glucerna 1.0. And according to all the local pharmacies, it no longer is obtained in Ontario. They can't get it from their distributors. It's been discontinued. I don't know if that's Canada-wide or just in Ontario, but Glucerna 1.0 has been discontinued. Do not mistake that with this Glucerna that you can buy in the store, but this one is not on the coverage list. This one cannot be covered. I have tried. So that's it for diabetic formulas, unfortunately. So I'm stuck with the regular formulas, which most of them are very high in carbs. I have done a video showing this as well. If you're interested in learning more, I'm happy to remake the videos, tag you in the videos, whichever you would like. But I do what I can. Looking at me, you wouldn't know it. You would assume that I eat nothing but junk food. You would assume that I just sit here and I don't do any sort of exercises because I am large. I am very close to 300 pounds. So I know looking at me, none of this is believable. And it's up to you if you believe me or not. But this is my truth. This is what I have to deal with. I hope that this makes things better understood, and you can understand that for some people, this is how things go. This is why my endocrinologist and diabetic nurse would like me to be on an insulin pump. If I'm on an insulin pump, they would set it so I have a continuous, ongoing insulin dosage put into my, running at all times. I believe that would be basal. I'm not sure. I get them mixed up all the time. And then every 5 hours, I would receive, I believe, a bolus dosing, which would be a higher amount given at the 5-hour mark. But then I would be on a low dose 24 hours. So that is the reason why my endocrinologist and my diabetic nurse want to see me on an insulin pump, especially for times when I am not able to orally intake and I'm just on the tube. Yes, when I'm on my tube, many days I still try to eat, but I don't sit down and have full meals. That doesn't happen when I'm on my tube. If I'm on my tube, I cannot consume a full meal. If I'm able to consume a full meal, I don't need to be on my tube. It's that simple. I don't need the double calories. So, hopefully, I can get onto that insulin pump sooner than later, but we're looking at least a month out still, I'm sure. I don't get paid until maybe the end of January. I don't even know if I'll receive a pay then because of when I start work. But I'm hoping between my GoFundMe, my Sensi, my mom's craft sales, and me working, that within the next month we'll be able to come up with the total of $3,150 to be able to get the Omnipod. Now there is talk from my diabetic nurse, not the endocrinologist yet because he's away on holidays. She would rather me go on the Tandem because the Tandem pump now pairs with the Dexcom, which means that they will talk to each other and be able to provide me with the proper amount of dosage without me having to program it in. They think this would be a better source, a better way of doing things than me being on the Omnipod pump that at this time in Canada cannot pair with the Dexcom and they do not communicate. I have to manually enter the information into the PDM. The PDM is what costs so much money to get. Unfortunately, being type 2 diabetic, there is no coverage. That said, I am dealing with a new social worker through CBI Health, and she has told me to contact the MPP about the fact that the insulin pump isn't covered and the cost of it to see if there's anything that they can do. So that's what I'm going to do Monday morning. I figured I'd give it the rest of the week. They're probably still on holidays as well. They're government. They're going to take as much time as they can get. So Monday morning, I intend to email the MPP about it, see if there's anything that can be done. I'm thinking there's probably not, but hey, it's worth a try. Because if I can get it covered, I'd absolutely refund everybody who has paid into the GoFundMe at this point. Anyways, hope this explains things, and I hope you have a good day.